We live? We are now. Greetings, everyone, on a Monday night before a general election in our great nation. I'd like to welcome everyone to our regular board meeting tonight. We'll call the meeting to order. Before I get to the invocation, I get passionate sometimes. I would just like to share some news with everyone about the passing of former town commissioner Edward Eddie Mann, who served on this board for a number of years, served on various committees throughout Cumberland County, cut hair for over 50 years at the barbershop. And years ago, he used to sit in that very seat where Commissioner Squilla sat, because next to him was another commissioner they used to sit on the end called Commissioner Pete Warner, which was a long, long time ago. He passed over the weekend. I just got a text from a colleague at FTCC that said anyone wishing to send flowers, it will go to Fayetteville Community Church, 2010 Middle River Loop, Fayetteville 28312. The wake viewing will be Saturday, November 9th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the funeral will follow right after for all wishing to stay. A private gravesite funeral for family only will be held after the funeral. So these are the only arrangements that I know of, and a colleague just sent them to me. There'll be a more formal obituary that will come out from the family. Please keep the family in thoughts and prayers, as this was an unexpected passing that occurred over the weekend. It's really touching for me, and I'm not going to speak for Commissioner Fravor or Commissioner Squilla, but a week ago, we were at a pig picking event. Robbie Gooden has it annual every year. And Eddie and his wife Diane attended. It was the first time that I had seen Eddie in a number of years, and both of them together. So it was really, really great to see them. And we sat there at the table and had a really good meal. And I just didn't know that would be the last time that I would see Commissioner Eddie Mann. I just didn't know. Also tonight, Commissioner Jerry Legg will not be with us. And here's the why. He was involved, him and his wife were involved in an accident this morning. They were going to Aberdeen for some follow-up medical appointments. And they became involved in an accident that put both of them in the hospital. And hopefully he's probably home by now, at least I'm hoping he is. But that's why he's not here tonight, and he may be out for a little bit of time. So that's the other thing I have to share tonight. Former Commissioner Greeley Mitchell, would you lead us in the invocation, and would everyone remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by India Manjir, Harmony at Hope Mills.
Let us bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we are grateful and thank you for this day, because truly this is the day that the Lord has made, and let us rejoice and be glad in it. Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings to bless those that have lost loved ones, the family of Kathy Johnson, Eddie Mann. Grant them peace and comfort during their loss, dear Heavenly Father. We ask you to bleed with the Legg family, Heavenly Father. Grant them wellness and illness. And dear God, we ask you to bless our governing body, our mayor, our commissioners, our town staff, our police department, our fire department, our first responders, and the entire town employees and staff. Be with them, Heavenly Father, and grant them protection as they go about their daily duties. And dear Lord, we ask you to bless this board, to grant them knowledge, wisdom, to make sound decisions that is beneficial to our town. These blessings we ask you in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please face our nation's colors as the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof, yeah, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you so much. Followed by the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. As we kick off November to honor our nation's veterans, I think it's fitting to kick off beautiful, beautiful singing live version of our national anthem. And I would like to also say that on November 11th at 1:30, Harmony at Hope Mills will be honoring their veterans that are located in the Harmony facility. And a number of us will go there. In return, the Harmony at Hope Mills will transport any veteran that can be transported to the Hope Mills Veterans Day ceremony at 3 p.m. And we never knew we had this type of talent until we went there several weeks ago for one of the chamber breakfasts. Approval of agenda. Do we have any additions or deletions?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to add 2 items to new business. Item D under new business for, can I add rules and procedures? And item E, the removal of Deanna Rosario from the Parks and Recreation Committee.
Okay, we're going to add under new business D, rules of procedure, and E, removal of Parks and Rec Committee member. Any other additions? Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor? None opposed? Motion carries. Right into, official comments. We'll start with manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll try to keep this brief. We have several events coming up. You have this Saturday, November 9th from 9 to 12, you have the Prime Movers Food Distribution with Second Harvest here at Hope Mills Park. You also have, starting at 12 to 4, Dirtbag Gales, you have the Hope Mills Chamber Chili Cook-Off. You have the Heritage Park ribbon cutting set for the 20th. I'm trying to get as many people in the town to come out. We're gonna have something really special for you on that date. It'll begin at 4 p.m. The Parade of Lights registration is still open through the 17th of this month. The parade is scheduled for December 7th. We have the holiday market with the Artist Village on December 6th and 7th as well. Letters for Sanders still going on, and our annual Christmas luncheon for 55 for our seniors is December 13th. Second page of the manager's report, you have Hope Mills project updates. You have the next phase of infographics on the third page for the development review process. I think this will conclude, I think our next one will have the annexation process, and then we'll go into other departments. Also, we have the plan review updates, but on the NCDOT construction updates, I did update it with the latest with the Fisher Road widening. DOT has a website that they are typically putting out for surveys. This one, the website is ncdot.publicinput.com for the Fisher Road project. Even though that's not in Hope Mills limits, it gives access to the Kenneth Farm Road for Georgetown Estates, which is a town of Hope Mills neighborhood. You can provide public input through November 8th on this website. And so I'll keep contacting DOT to get these updates, but that does conclude the manager's report for this evening.
Thank you, Chancellor. We'll go into board member comments. I'll start with Commissioner Cravers.
Good evening, everyone. I have just one thing. Years ago, Senator John Henley, who was in office at that time, had Hope Mills declared a bird sanctuary. And at one time we had those that said, "Welcome to Hope Mills Bird Sanctuary," I think at all the entrances. Well, over the years, the signs have been removed, or not by us, but have been taken. And I'm wondering if there's some way that we could get those back up. I've checked with the hold on, let me tell you, the Wildlife Foundation or Federation from North Carolina, and the signs are very inexpensive. I think they're like $25 or $30 something each. So if there's some way that we could get those and get those back up. And are we taking part in the National Lights Out initiative by turning out all the non-essential lights on our buildings between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. through November the 30th?
I have seen that. That's something that we can put out a press release to see if our citizens would like to participate as well. I think it's basically tied to bird migration and things of that nature.
Yeah. I've looked under Birdcast, and that's a site that you can go to and find out statistics. And according to Birdcast, birds we're going to board members' comments. So you can see, I'll start. Excuse me, let me go find that where I started. I have here that how many birds do you think came through or flew over Cumberland County since August? There were 78.2 million birds, and during that time, the highest day that they came over was October the 5th, and that was 7.2 million birds that flew over. I just thought that was a little piece of information or trivia that you might would like to know. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Graver. Commissioner Marley?
I don't really have a lot. I just hope that everybody get out tomorrow and vote if you haven't already voted. I can certainly tell you that myself and, former Commissioner Mitchell can tell you that every vote counts. Does it not?
From experience.
From experience, every vote counts. So, please get out and exercise your right tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Marley. You are spot on. Every vote counts. Commissioner Sorolla?
Thank you, Mayor. It's good to see some people in our audience today. Not as many as we usually have, but that's okay. That's okay. Very happy to have everyone here. Just to fill people in, because I know they've seen it, probably heard about it on social media. Yes, my house got hit by gunfire. Yes, I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay. They missed. You know, just be wary of situations going on in your neighborhood. Yeah, my deductible is, it goes my paycheck, but, I'm okay. My house is okay. My dogs are okay. So, yeah, just wanted to fill people in because if they've heard the rumors. So yes, everything's fine, but, I have nothing else here.
Thank you, Commissioner Sorolla. Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray.
I would just like to, say the same thing that Commissioner Marley said. Please make sure that you get out and exercise your right to vote tomorrow if you have not already cast an early vote. And just again, what the town manager McLaughlin said, please come out if you can to help us volunteer for the food distribution on Saturday, or pass the information along to a family that may benefit or may need it. And it's always great to see everyone.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray. I tell you what, all of us have been really busy in the past couple of weeks attending various events. One of them was the Groundbreak event last weekend. The Crown Event Center downtown Fayetteville was well attended. We kicked off our first Economic Development Committee meeting, which Dr. McCray will brief during her comments. A lot of us were at the Veterans Day Parade on Saturday, which was a pretty good event too. There was a lot of comments about that one. And then I had the opportunity later on Saturday to join two other mayors, Mayor Kia Anthony from Spring Lake, Mayor Mitch Coven from the city of Fayetteville, at a Unity in the Community U.S. Elite Basketball event at E.E. Smith High School on behalf of Gerard Mushbeth Jr. family. And that was to honor the family and also the basketball team that was there. And it was the first time I've been back to E.E. Smith in quite some time. And I'm here to tell you, it's the Golden Bulls are still kicking. There was a lot of conversation out there about the future of E.E. Smith, but it was a well attended meeting. Again, sorry, not a meeting. It was a well attended event. And I tell you, I was just honored and humbled to be a part of it. When you have something like that through the U.S. Elite Basketball team that was there, and it's a unity in the community, and you can get 3 of the 9 municipality mayors together, that's really something. I've got a letter I want to read for a board consensus. This letter came from Board of Commissioners, Cumberland County, from Glenn Adams, Chairman, and it's addressed to dear fellow community leader. As discussed on several occasions, an aquatic center in Cumberland County has become essential for the community to compete with other jurisdictions for events, programming, economic development, and community health and wellness. Through the city-county liaison, it was voted for the county to lead this effort. I am forming a committee of key stakeholders to discuss and provide critical insights on the planning, development, and operation of the aquatic center, which is a vital need for the community. Please send me at your earliest convenience the name of a representative from your representative body, which is the council and or board, to serve on this committee. Information regarding future meetings will be presented at the first meeting. Should you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Sincerely, Glenn Adams, Chairman, Cumberland County Board of County Commissioners. I will say that many of us, especially myself, has been very active in looking at a regional aquatic center for Cumberland County, not just a municipality run one, or to even try to get funded for one. We have a lot of high schools that have swim teams that have to go in different places to meet. It would be instrumental for the high schools and for our higher education at Fayetteville Technical Community College, Fayetteville State University, and Methodist University, and the reservation called Fort Liberty. That a nice aquatic center would be really great to add to our quality of life in Cumberland County. I'm really excited when I got this letter. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, I view it as a regional issue, and I'm glad to see that the county will take the lead. The letter came to me, and I will ask the board as a consensus who they would like to represent our municipality on this new formed committee by the county.
Mayor, since you're so excited about it, and I think the whole board is excited about it, but, I feel like you should represent the town, and, maybe, Mayor Pro Tem McCray is a backup if you're unable to make the meeting.
I appreciate that, Commissioner Marley. Is that the consensus of the board? Okay. Ashley, those are the two names you'll send to Chairman Glenn Adams. Next, we'll move into our presentation. Fayetteville Technical Community College Cyber Security Assessment Overview. I believe, Ashley, will you go take the lead, or is Scott going to do it?
I'm going to turn that over to Scott.
Tosh?
Mr. Mayor,
Welcome, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, Town Manager, and Town Clerk White, thank you. It's an honor to be here on behalf of the Carolina Cyber Network, as well as Fayetteville Technical Community College. It's been several months since this group of students stood before you and said, we want to come. They made an ask. Can we come and conduct a cyber assessment on the town of Oakland? And you all said yes, voted yes. And so the team to my right behind me came, along with a couple other students, met with your IT professional, Chris, as well as Ms. Wyatt and others, and Mr. Mayor and Mr. McLaughlin. Thank you all before you went to the ribbon cutting for greeting our students that day as well. They did a cyber assessment, a security assessment on the town of Hope Mills, and tonight they're here to present their results, which I think will make you smile almost as much as that aquatic center. So without further ado, it's my honor to introduce you to Fayetteville Tech and the Mid-Carolina Council of Government, Carolina Cyber Network Cyber Assessment Team.
All right.
Well, we were here 2 weeks ago to conduct that cyber assessment. I saw you there, and we do have our results. Chris, we worked with Chris and talked with him about a lot of things, and we learned a lot, and we'd like to share the results with you. So here is all the things we asked him about. We went over physical security and digital security, and throughout all these things, by and large, you nailed them all on the head. Chris was amazing. It all looked amazing. It all looked really, really good. We learned a lot doing this. If we want to look over a few things that I could point out that you do amazingly, your password policies are great. He went over how he does that with you guys, and your badging and things, how to get in and out of places. It's all phenomenal. We also got to go look at the police station over there and see how the servers work over there, and it was an amazing learning experience for all of us, and I'm super grateful you were to let us come and do that. For the very few things you need to work on, there's barely anything. I'm going to go ahead and pass that over to Trey here.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. I just want to express again, thank you so much for this opportunity to come out here and do this. We were like giddy schoolboys over there looking at how well everything was managed. We were so invested. It was a great opportunity. But we really all noticed two things. And one of those things was mobile devices lacked full disk encryption. And that's really important because if somebody takes those devices, they have full access to everything on that device. With the full disk encryption, it makes it so they can look at the stuff on the hard drive, but they can't decipher it. Like they can't pull any information from it. The other thing was a weakness with every network. You're going to experience this no matter what, and that's just people. Like proper cyber awareness training. We noticed that there was something a little while back. Somebody had fallen for a phishing scam, and that's something that's easily remedied. You know, you just keep people in the loop as to what they should and shouldn't be doing when it comes to proper procedures with emails or text messages. So, but overall, you guys did fantastic. It was a great opportunity, and Chris, he's phenomenal. Like he's got all the bells and whistles. It is like I cannot express how great you guys are, really. But
Thank you very much, sir.
Of course, we have a Q&A. If you guys have any questions that need to be answered, we're here at full disposal. So ask away if so inclined.
Board have any questions? Got one. What was the biggest takeaway from your experience with the assessment? And that probably could anyone from the team could do that. Could say that. The biggest takeaway.
It's a lot to handle, really. Like Chris has a really big job. We've noticed, but like he does such a good job handling it, really. But it's such an exciting. Like I would say that he has everything down pat. That was my biggest takeaway. You guys are doing fantastic. Like I cannot emphasize that enough, really. Like the only issue we could find was something that everybody's going to have with every network, and that's just people being people, you know, like wanting to have access to things.
Okay.
So.
What were your expectations prior to this assessment? What did you guys think you were going to walk in here and find? Before you walked in, what were your expectations or thoughts about coming in?
Honestly, with our last one, it wasn't the best, so our expectations were kind of low. But you guys did fantastic.
Yeah, y'all were the complete opposite of what we went through last time. Like, it was so simple and easy to just point out these two things and easily just give a recommendation on what y'all should do. It was so nice.
Okay. Okay.
Now my curiosity is piqued. Without giving a specific name, what the last person that you had issues with, what was their position, job, you know, were they?
It was an organization.
Yeah, it wasn't a specific person.
Okay, all right, well, fair enough. Okay.
It was another governmental organization. We'll keep it there.
Okay.
We've got a, while you're still standing here, we've got a letter that I'm going to read. It's probably going to push out to a press release as well. That Ashley White, the town clerk, and I, we drafted up something today because we wanted to share some comments with you. And here it goes. On October 25th, 2024, the Town of Hope Mills Administration hosts several information technology students from Fayetteville Technical Community College, FTCC, in partnership with the Mid-Carolina Council of Government and Carolina Cyber Network, known as CCN, as a cyber assessment team to work with local municipalities to, 1, provide a free cybersecurity self-assessment, which you did. 2, provide an after-action report, which you have. And 3, present findings to local government leaders, which you've done tonight. The benefits and outcome of a cyber assessment is to, 1, develop enhanced security posture with local governments. I think you have done that in your findings. Provide students with industry experience. You got that from Chris for sure. And 3, strengthen collaboration among colleges, corporations, and government entities within the CCN. The town of Hope Mills is one of 24 municipalities within the Mid-Carolina Regional Council that represents Cumberland, Harnett, and Sampson counties. The Cybersecurity Self-Assessment Initiative vividly demonstrates Carolina Cyber Network's mission, vision, and principles. The mission of FTCC is not only to deliver industry-aligned training, but to create opportunities for students, lifelong success, ultimately bridging the gap between industry needs and cybersecurity talent, which you have done during your presentation and assessment. The cyber assessment team of students engaged with town hall staff, specifically town manager Chancellor McLaughlin, IT specialist Chris Slate, and town clerk Ashley White, to explore the information technologies that exist across the 4 buildings that comprise the municipal campus. You went to 4 buildings, didn't you?
Yeah. So we went to the PD and this building.
Yeah. So the students, you, showcased your expertise in cybersecurity by asking engaging and thoughtful questions regarding the scope of work that was needed to sustain a municipality that provides services for nearly 18,000 residents. They discussed cybersecurity awareness training and how it affects all departments in the Hope Mills municipality. They also learned how public records and retention schedules impact cybersecurity in municipal government. And lastly, shared perspectives on why a human element of cybersecurity is always needed. That brings it home. The town of Hope Mills is proud to learn from FTCC information technology students, you, about new methodologies in cybersecurity and an after-action report presentation about the security posture of the town. We would encourage other municipalities to participate in this collaborative initiative as well, and that is our press release to you for what you've done for us. And we thank you. All right, Scott. I know you got a comment.
Not at all. Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to introduce these folks by their first name: Damon, Noah, Trey, and Kevin. He's part of that team. They will continue to take the suggestions that you've had and put them to action in other municipalities. I also wanted to offer the town of Hope Mills, as you move forward, if there's cyber awareness training that you might be interested in receiving, not only for your council members, but for the residents of Hope Mills. We would love to discuss the opportunities for students to come and maybe lead some training to give them that educational experience and also to provide cyber awareness throughout the town. So thank you so much for this opportunity tonight.
Thank you all for coming out, and I wish you well.
Thank you. I will present you, Scott, with this copy of the letter. It'll go to Austin. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Next up. Next up is our proclamation recognizing November 11th as Veterans Day under tab 2. Proclamation Veterans Day, November 11th, 2024. Whereas originally known as Armistice Day, Veterans Day is the day America sets aside to thank and honor all those who served honorably in our nation's military. And whereas Veterans Day is a day to honor veterans, to acknowledge that their contributions to our national security are appreciated, and to underscore the fact that all those who have served have sacrificed and done their duty. And whereas America is greatly indebted to those who have sacrificed for the liberty and security of our country. And whereas tens of millions of Americans have served in the armed forces and hundreds and thousands of Americans have given their lives while serving in the armed forces during the past century, and whereas the contributions and sacrifices of the men and women who served in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedoms and way of life enjoyed by the people of these United States, and whereas armed forces members have been unrelenting in battle, unwavering in loyalty, and unmatched in honor, and have demonstrated that freedom is the most powerful force on earth. And whereas VFW Post 10630 and Auxiliary have coordinated with other veterans and civic organizations in the Hope Mills area to provide this special ceremony of remembrance today. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Jesse Bellflower, as mayor of the town of Hope Mills, North Carolina, do hereby proclaim Monday, November 11th, 2024 as Veterans Day, and urge all citizens to observe this day in honor of veterans of all wars, the living, the disabled, and the dead, and urge all citizens to join in the expression of appreciation to the many veterans in our community who have given so much on behalf in times of both war and peace, proclaimed this 4th day of November 2024. I would like to highlight one other couple of things before we move on, is that each year the Veterans Administration has a poster competition for that year's theme of what Veterans Day will be. The theme for Veterans Day 2024 this year is a legacy of loyalty and service. And it was a winning poster designed by Myrstrid Godlet, a retired disabled Army veteran from Queens, New York. She was driven, I'm going to share the quote with her, for this theme. As a veteran, I've sometimes felt underrepresented, promoting me to consider how best to incorporate inclusivity and the essence of loyalty and service. Ultimately, I choose to symbolize the shared experience of service members, past, present, and future, with elements like the American flag, military dog tags, and the banner actually has dog tags. That's the poster design. And the enduring strength of veterans embodied by a solid, dark concrete background in her design. Later this week at FTCC, we will have our veteran ceremony on campus at 11 a.m. Next Monday, on November 11th, at the 11th hour, will be the Blue Star Memorial Veterans Day ceremony, starting at 11 at Freedom Memorial Park. At 1:30, the Harmony at Hope Mills Veterans Day ceremony will be right down the street. 200 veterans that are living there at the facility. And then finally, at 3 p.m. is the Hope Mills Veterans ceremony right here in our park the same day. I just wanted to share all those dates with you as Veterans Day will be here in a week from today. Okay, next public comments. Do we have any?
No.
Nope, no one signed up. Number 5, consent agenda. Consideration and approval of the Board of Commissioners meeting minutes, October 21st, 2024, regular meeting under tab 3. That's all that's on the consent agenda. A motion to approve. Second. All in favor? Motion carries. Moving on to end of consent agenda, old business. Item A, consideration and approval to amend the bylaws of the Hope Mills Economic Development Committee. That's under tab 4. Chancellor.
Thank you, Mayor. I will say that we did have our first Economic Development Committee meeting last week. I'm very excited. It was a very powerful meeting. We talked about several programs and initiatives that we want to pursue. And we actually, I guess, presented to the group the gateway study that we were doing with NC Commerce about 3 or 4 years ago that went stagnant during COVID. But NC Commerce is part of the committee as well. They did tell us today that they actually are going to update the data in the actual study. And so that'll be the first project we'll tackle. We will have to do another MOU with them. We'll probably have that ready for the 18th. But one thing we realized is that with the bylaws being set up where there are 3 citizen slots, but there are specific organizations that are listed in the bylaws, we realized during the meeting we had not covered our water and sewer, which is through PwC. And so we've actually reached out to PwC and found someone willing to serve, but we need to bring it back tonight to amend the bylaws to add PwC to the actual bylaws for the Economic Development Committee.
Okay. So basically, just the update on the bylaws is just to add a representative from PwC. And then that changes the total membership of the committee. That's the only change before the board.
That's correct.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any further discussion by the board? And this will be updated by our Economic Development Committee liaison, which is Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray during her brief. All in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries. Under new business, we go to item A, consideration and approval of proposal for Morgan's Trucking and allowing the town manager to execute a contract in the amount of $30,000 for Archer Road Stormwater Repair Tab 5, and Beth is already ready to go.
Almost. How many guys can see him? So rather than boring you with my stormwater conversation, I think I just showed you the video of the inside of the storm drain line. So bear with me because when they pan up, it's good motion sickness. We can cut the wall line.
Dim the lights. Show us the tube.
Alright, so I'm going to, so this is what the inside of a storm drain pipe should look like. And you'll have to give it just a minute, I'm just gonna let you see what it's supposed to look like. So you should see the rings on the inside, that's where the joints are together. Okay, those are together, it's a full moon. So when we look at them after they lay storm drain pipe, if we look down and there looks like a half moon or anything less than a full moon, the joints are not together properly.
Go ahead.
What part of Archer Road is this?
And this is actually the cul-de-sac of Archer, so if you go down on the opposite side and take the right, and it says cul-de-sac down there. There is an end. But that's a good,
Plug it on the right side.
So that's a joint that has some minor separation in it, and some infiltration, and it takes a minute for it to clear up. And something in the water in there. See where you can see the side of the pipe? That's a water separation, meaning that the water's getting in from the bottom and also from the top. You don't want groundwater in the storm drain pipe. is where we got a sinkhole hole. So can everybody see that? We don't know what that is, could be shingles, could be plastic, but we go from RCP, which is concrete pipe, to plastic pipe. There's no box there. There should always be a box where one pipe ends and then on the other side of the box, another pipe starts. So that's probably somebody's fence that's hanging in there on Archer. So, so that was the Archer Road pipe. So that one we have there's a large sinkhole down in between two properties. Somebody's fence is at risk right now. That's why this is on this board meeting, because we need to do something quickly. And I know this says Heather Street, but that's where the box is actually in someone's backyard.
Beth, this is still tied to Archer Road.
This is not, so I'm moving on, I'll take questions from y'all. This is actually the second one.
Okay. And then we'll vote on it individually. Okay.
Yes. We had considered just doing them together, they're both storm repairs. But since they're two separate pipe systems, we figured go ahead and separate them out. All right, so pipe is all good. I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit. I don't want you to see the good part of the pipe, I want you to see the bad part. So if you start to notice up on the top, there's cracking. That's not good. That means see on the side, right, bottom, left, and the top. That type of cracking it's getting ready to collapse. And you're getting ready to see like the worst part. So this one, there is a sinkhole in between two yards. It is right beside somebody's air conditioning unit. And this pipe is about 12 feet in the ground. So if that collapses, then, so if you look up at the top, you've got that's a whole piece of pipe that's caved in. And then I'm gonna let this go forward just so you can see the amount of water, groundwater that's coming in. It almost looks like a broken, see the bubbling down at the bottom?
Beth, how old is this pipe?
This pipe was installed sometime, I just can't remember what I think it was mid-90s. So it's reached its lifetime.
Yeah.
It could have been inferior pipe, nobody knows, it was put in so long ago. Pipe this large should have, it should have metal in it, and then the form is put so it's reinforced. That's groundwater bubbling up in the bottom of the pipe. That's the first time I've seen that actually in the pipe. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop that because I think you've seen what I need you to see. So, we asked for 3 bids, obviously, because of the price. Polk County Sand, Autry Grading, both are too busy to come out and actually provide us with anything. Tyler reached out to a couple other contractors. The only person that did the project was Morgan's Truckin'. They are in town working on the path, and they also were just awarded the bid for Woodland Hills, so I'm assuming that while they're working in Woodland Hills, they'll probably be doing this on the side. So they were our only responsive bidder. Does anybody have questions?
Okay, under item A, does the board have any questions?
Make the motion to allow the town manager to execute a contract in the amount of $30,000 for the Archer Road Stormwater Project.
A motion, we have a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item B, do we have any further discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
And that's the consideration and approval of proposal from Morgan's Trucking and allowing town manager to execute contract in the amount of $35,500 for Falls Drive stormwater repair, and that's under tab 6. All in favor? Seeing none opposed, that motion carries. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Let me ask you one question. Are y'all going around and checking pipes like this in some of the older neighborhoods that have had pipes that have been down for a long time?
So we, about 4 years ago, started a cleaning program, and you'll find that once every year we ask for about $100,000 for cleaning. So when they go in and clean, if there's any type of issues that we know of or anything, they clean and they camera those lines. And we have found some things that we wouldn't have known were there, but we have also seen an increase in capacity by keeping the pipes clean annually. So we intend to continue that as long as the board continues to approve it. But the answer to that is yes. Anytime we have a sinkhole, sometimes it's too far from the storm drain box where we have access to actually get in there and look. They have it looks like a remote control car. It's very heavy. I actually picked it up and was like, oh God, I think it weighed about 50 pounds, but it's a small little car that they remote control. They're in a van and it's hooked to a cable and they just drive it down the line. They have the ability to camera forward, backward, and then as you can see on here, they can pan up and they'll check all the joints to make sure there's not something coming through, or if there is something coming through, what it is.
That's good to know.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you. Next item is item C. It's an overview of North Carolina League of Municipalities grant program. That's under tab 7. I believe that belongs to either Chancellor or Ashley.
Thank you, Mayor. In February of this year, the Town of Hope Mills executed a grant program or an agreement with O'Brien through the North Carolina League of Municipality Offers Service Program. Since that time, we have applied for the Federal Emergency Management Assistance to Firefighters grant for $89,000. We've applied for the Safe Streets for All grant for $96,000. We've applied for the Department of Justice Cops hiring program for $375,000, and the Firehouse Subs Foundation grant for $19,000, totaling $580,556. That was from February through July. And if you recall, through the program, we got up to 30,000 billable hours at no charge to us. So that's what we applied for on the initial program execution with no charge. We were awarded the $96,000 Safe Streets for All grant. After that 30,000 was spent, the board so graciously allowed us to actually take 30,000 of our dollars and actually execute the program again. Since then, we have applied for the Cannon Foundation grant for a Ford Explorer for fire department for $36,000. Firehouse Subs grant application again for $19,000, and we have 3 grants in the process, which is the BRIC grant, Building Resilient Infrastructure Communities grant for $2.5 million, the Rural Downtown Economic Development grant for $700,000 because we want to do a streetscape for Trade Street, and Parks and Rec. We don't have a number yet, but we've already talked to Whit O'Brien about the Partef grant for Phase 2 Heritage Park. That's not due until May of next year, but that's in the hopper as well. To date, since we've actually re-executed another program in July, we've only spent 7,000 of the 30, but we're looking at 3.2 million in grants that we actually are pursuing. And so that's where we are right now. This is an amazing program. I don't think, if you think about it, the 7,000 we spent of our own taxpayer dollars, we've already got $96,000 for that. And so Ingrid is a pleasure to work with. It's pretty much a situation where any department that has grant needs, we just run them through Whit O'Brien. I'm gonna speak for Ashley and myself. We're gonna try to figure out a way to keep this going permanently, because if you recall, prior to this, we were trying to talk about a grants division. Where are we going to get the funding for 2 positions? Because it was LaMarco, Don, and I striking at the fences, and applying for a grant, if you do grants, is relatively easy. Acquiring, monitoring, reporting, while you're doing your regular day-to-day jobs is astronomical. So when we found out about the program, we couldn't believe it. To be able to sit here and tell you we probably had about $4 million that we tried to secure off of a $7,000 investment, I don't think you can get any better than that. So that's where we are. We'll keep reporting back. With the $96,000 we have, we're in the process of the grant agreement. We wanted to announce it about a month or so ago, but I don't think we were allowed to. But as we get these awards, we will bring these reports back to the town, and I definitely thank the board for the support for allowing us to do this program.
Chancellor, as you will recall, last December, this was one of the first initiatives that we discussed, that we need a grant program for the town of Oak Mills.
I don't know how we would have done this without this program.
And here we are a year later, and look at the return on investment for this, from this partnership with Ingrid that we pursue, that we haven't pursued ever before.
And I will say we're making news because we were in the League of Municipalities magazine as one of the municipalities that's actually taking advantage of it. And so I'm anticipating probably at the state conference next year, we may be on a panel talking about, as one of the actual exhibitors, talking about our experience with this program. That's what I'm shooting for. So definitely want to thank the board for the support.
Thank you, Chancellor. Quarterly, we can update the grants program. So
yes, we can do that.
Let's make that a quarterly report going forward. Actually, that we can do that. Okay, item C. Next is item D, rules of procedure. That will go to Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray.
I have asked for this item to be added. As you all have probably heard, I am having surgery on November the 19th. I will miss the ribbon cutting of Heritage Park along with a lot of other festivities. I am asking for the rules to be suspended so that I can vote by phone. I'm not putting a time frame on it. I know I will be at a meeting in December. I will not be able to drive for several months. It will just all depend on how my healing goes. So I'm asking for you all to suspend the rules so that I can be able to vote. I'm not putting a timeline on it because I do not know how long my healing process will be, and it will result in other surgeries throughout of next year. So I am just asking for you all to suspend the rules temporarily, at least till my term is up next year. I won't be out all of next year. I just want to say that, but like I said, it will be another surgery and I will be out again, but I just want to continue to be able to do the town's business from home if possible.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray. And you know, that we've got another commissioner that's out tonight too, Commissioner Jerry Legg, that may want to request the same type of opportunity, and he may do that. It just depends on what his recovery will look like as well. So before we call for the vote, or is there any discussion?
Mayor, I'd say, I'll put in the form of a motion that we suspend the rules, for, Mayor Pro Tem McCray for an unspecified amount of time and allow, not only Dr. McCray, but, Jerry Legg, if he wishes to, be available or attend meetings by phone and have voting privileges as well.
Okay, that's a motion. Do we have a second? All in favor?
If I may, I just want to point out one thing, and I think that it's a good idea, and I encourage the vote, but I just want to make 2 points. One is we need to clarify that someone being present by phone would not contribute to a quorum, so we still need to have a quorum physically present in order for the vote to count or for the meeting to be valid. And there's another Coates Cannon article that talks about the issue of a non-vote by a remote participant. Typically, there's a statute in North Carolina, so typically when you're in person and a motion is before the board and someone doesn't vote, that vote is counted in the affirmative. That statute specifically talks about people physically present. So if the board wants that rule to be in place for remote voting, they would need to make that rule independently. I might caution against that because, you know, someone whose phone cuts off, internet, you know, a problem, may not, you know, it may not be a good idea to have as an automatic yes vote. But I wanted to raise that issue for the board just because there is some literature out there about that issue.
Commissioner Marley, would you want to amend your motion to include that item as well, or leave it as a standalone?
I mean, I think we should, you know, we can definitely go with the attorney's recommendation on that. And I'll amend my motion to whatever it needs to say to allow it.
And I don't think the motion needs to be amended. I just wanted to point out that there is that issue of a non-vote being an affirmative when you're physically present, but a non-vote not necessarily being affirmative when you're remotely participating. I don't think that's an issue in and of itself, but if the board wanted to maintain that, you know, non-vote is a yes, you'd have to adopt a separate rule for that. Again, I don't think it's probably not a great rule to have in place because it's more likely with remote participation that something could happen, call could drop, internet goes out, whatever it may be, and you might not want that to count as a yes vote. But again, I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention because it is an issue.
Thank you, Dan, for weighing in. I'll call for the vote one more time. All in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries. Item E is the removal of a member from the Parks and Rec Committee. And that's Commissioner Craver.
Due to her work schedule, Deanna Rosario is dropping off the board of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, and I make a motion that we do accept her resignation.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries. Okay, that's new business. We go in directly into committee liaison update reports. We'll start with, and you have it, Commissioner Craver with Parks and, no, sorry, jumped over. Commissioner Brian Marley with HBC and RULAC.
Thank you, Mayor. RULAC will meet on the 21st of November, is their next meeting. As far as the Historic Preservation Committee, they did meet, this was before the meal reunion, but they finalized their plans for the meal reunion luncheon. I hope that went well. There's a member of the committee here tonight. I was unable to attend that function. I wasn't in town, but I hope all went well. their next meeting is, gonna be on the 13th, and I did reach out to the, chairperson of that committee, Ms. Reeves. And, going back to our last board meeting, I did ask her to, put a couple items on the agenda. One, make a decision on the bail. We discussed the bail in the, gazebo. Ask them to bring back a recommendation to the board, or give me a recommendation I could bring back to the board at our next meeting on, plans for the bail, or what they would like to see done. I think that's what we discussed at the last board meeting. And also, at the last meeting, they didn't have a quorum to vote on the, signage for the Heritage Park at that time. And I think they had some concerns with that as well. Hopefully they'll have a quorum at this next meeting. I think they're planning on discussing, the signage for the Heritage Park. And we'll go from there. That's about all.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner.
And also we should have on the 18th agenda for the HPC for the commission status.
Yeah.
I think it should be coming up on the meeting on the 18th.
It is.
That's correct.
Public notice. It's already been sent out, and, it'll be on that agenda. Okay. Commissioner Graber, Parks and Rec.
I'm gonna have to give you some of September's and October's, meetings, since we didn't give a report last time. In September, everything was said that the milestones for the Heritage Park had been completed, which included the concrete ramp, for the Flume Bridge decking and railing, the seat walls, brick veneer and precast caps, backfilling and the fine grading in preparation for parking lot installation and landscaping, installation of flume maintenance ladders, and safety chain link fence installation on the top of the flume. All of that has been completed. Now, what they're waiting on or will be done before our ribbon cutting, the installation of the power by Duke Energy, PWC to come and do whatever water that they need there. And then the ribbon cutting will be November the 20th at 4 p.m. Phase 2 of Heritage Park, I think they're going to start right on that. Isn't that what we decided to let them go ahead and start? And Lamarco said that he was going to seek a part-of grant for $500,000 that we will have to match. But that, I guess that will be decided later. He just said that figure.
That's correct. He actually had we do bi-weekly sessions with O'Brien, and he jumped on the last one, and he basically told her about the process. Like I said, the application deadline is May of 2025, so we're starting that process, but we can give you some more updates on the quarterly update on the amounts and things of that nature. But we are basically letting everyone know we are pursuing that for Heritage Park Phase 2.
Yeah, I think it's going to be that Phase 2 is really going to be nice with an inclusive playground,
yes,
amphitheater, and walking trails, and what else is it they're going to have in there?
It's an outdoor classroom. It's a lot of different things that it's going to a bridge. They call it the dog bridge or Rainbow Bridge. Oh, I've heard of that one. The Rainbow Bridge is something like ceremonial for dogs. And I will throw this out there. We do know that one of the things tied to a bridge is something that it's very challenging for us to achieve, but I think I want us to see if we can pull this off later. But the bridge across the creek that connects Heritage Park to the chapel, I do know that that's something that is well down the road, but I don't want us to forget about doing that. I know we have to go through Army Corps, and I know Beth and Don and Bruce are probably throwing something at me at the end of the room, but I do think when we're talking about what we're trying to accomplish for Heritage Park that you'll see on the 20th, it would look really nice if there was a wedding at the chapel and people can just, in the backyard of the chapel, walk across the footbridge to get to Heritage Park. That is something that I'm not going to let stay on the back burner. We'll go through phase 2, but that's something that I definitely want the board to be on notice that I want to pursue.
Let's go with the financial report. The punch cards, remember we sell them, what, for $20 and they get how many, 50, whatever punches. For this past month was $214 that they sold the punch cards. And pickleball was up to $1,249, which was like 600 and something, I think, last month. So it's almost doubled this past month. The rentals was $4,304 in revenue. The total revenue for October, not counting the fall registration, was $5,767. And I don't have the figures for October for the fall registration, but I'm sure it's probably that as well. And because registration is still going on, I think through the end of this month. And the fall registration for sports in September was $40,950. It's October figures I don't have. The trunk or treat was a big success. Oh, meal days, I'd like to thank Debbie Jones and all the foundation members for bringing back this tribute to the workers of the mills who founded Hope Mills. Let's not forget our heritage and the generations of people who unselfishly worked all their lives so we can enjoy our home we call Hope Mills. The HBC luncheon was a good success. The mayor and Joanne and Karen and who else was here. We just sat back there and had a good time talking and eating. They ate too much. Also, a big thank you to our police officers and the firemen who came out and supported this event, as well as the vendors and the citizens who made this event a success. I do want to clarify something. At the September meeting, it was reported that the Ballwood baseball team had been sold. We discussed if the contract could be transferred to the new owner. Well, then at our last board meeting, our town manager had checked into all of that and reported that the ball team has not been sold. So now everyone should know that the ball team has not been sold unless it's been sold since you reported that last month or at the last meeting. And our meetings, we will not have one for November and December due to so many other events that we'll be involved in. The Christmas parade and what else, Mark, was it that they said that that was coming up?
We have Thanksgiving, that would actually interfere with our November meeting.
Yeah. And
then with all the Christmas was Santa coming up, Christmas parade. Basically all holiday activities going on.
I do want to encourage all of you to, if you know of senior 55 or plus, to come to the Christmas luncheon. The last count I had was 19. So we'd like to get, I don't know how many we can hold you or accommodate, Chancellor, do you know how many that would be?
Not right offhand, but I can check it, make sure.
Okay. But anyway, let's see if we can't make this a big event for the seniors 55 and over, and that is $15 for a plate. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Craver. I wish I was old enough to attend that luncheon. Maybe next year.
Just being 29.
I'll take you, give it to my dad. As long as you pay.
Commissioner Scarola.
Thank you, Mayor. So I got a couple of things. So Veterans Affairs Committee, we had a quorum. We have currently 2 open positions. looking for members for the committee. One of the things that they're trying to organize, and it's early planning, looking for next year to have a military appreciation day sometime September of next year. But again, it's early phases, and we won't have another meeting with the committee until January. So not much else to report for the Veterans Affairs Committee. Cumberland County Air Quality Ambassadors Committee. The last meeting that we had was the same day as the National Night Out. We didn't have much information from that meeting. They will be briefing at the FAMPO meeting, which FAMPO has. I have my FAMPO meeting on the 20th. So I will be able to give a FAMPO up-to-date information on after the 20th, along with the air quality information. For the Hope Mills Area Chamber, so we were present at the trunk or treat along with the mayor. Mayor dressed up as someone from Harry Potter. Very nice. Myself and quite a few members from the Chamber of Commerce were there handing out candy. It was, as always, a very busy trunk or treat. So that was good. Of course, always, we have our chili cook-off coming up next weekend. If you go on the Hope Mills Chamber website, or if you even go on the Facebook page, if you want to sign up to submit your chili and be one of the ones to be judged, you can do so still currently. So you'd have to do it sooner, you know, like really immediately to be judged. There's going to be first, second, third place plaques, along with People's Choice, and then also for first, second, and third, there's a cash prize also involved with the chili cook-off. So now's your time to, you know, get your chili submitted, and I will not be judging, but our own mayor will be judging. So wear your stretchy pants. Yes. No, you cook it at home. You bring it in the crock pot, and yeah. So it's a good time. It's very delicious. I enjoyed chili, but I had to pass on this year. I was like, let someone else judge. So I hand the spoon over to the mayor. So that's coming. Let's see. Also, none of us actually, Mayor Pro Tem, none of us had talked about next week. Quite a few of us will be in Tampa Bay for the National League of Cities. So if we didn't go to conferences like this, I don't think we would have ever had that opportunity with the grants. And that really, I mean, just meeting with these people, different organizations, gives us, you know, able to bounce ideas off of other municipalities and other elected officials really helps us a lot. So I'm sure we're going to have a bunch of us will have different. We try to each take different classes at the same time, so we get our, you know, different information from all of us, and I'm sure we'll definitely be briefing once we get back from that that conference. But that is all I have, Mayor.
Okay, it was a lot. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray.
I'll begin with probably my longest report, which is the economic development meeting. Mayor and Town Manager McLaughlin have already mentioned a few updates, but again, we had our kickoff meeting on last Tuesday, and we are resuming an initiative that we began a few years ago. We recognize the need to involve additional key representatives to include PwC, CSX Railroad, Aqua, Piedmont Natural Gas, and the Highway Patrol, and Cape Fear Valley Medical Center. Now, all of these people do not need a permanent seat on our committee. These are just people that we can bring in occasionally when we need them. We did update the bylaws tonight to include a representative from PwC. Hope Mills is experiencing rapid growth, and Mayor Bell Flowers has requested updated maps to reflect the recent DOT updates and other crucial developments, and I'm referring to these maps in the building here. We will also open up the applications for citizens interested in representing the community on this board. We discussed partner with the Chamber of Commerce to revitalize small businesses, preserving our small town character. We, as a board, need to work to define our vision for Hope Mills. Do we want to be an industrial hub, a tech center, or something else? What do we need? What are we already saturated with? Is there a cohesive plan for amenities, and are we thoughtfully planning out the layout of our community overall? Those were some questions that were presented. We can collaborate more with DOT to keep our highways clean, as this impacts the visitors' first impressions of our town. And we have decided to postpone the officer elections until we get the other essential people that we need on that committee in place. The county can begin public input for future land use maps aligning with Hope Mills, Engage Hope Mills page that we are creating. And some residents have raised concerns about growth and school capacity. We did have a Cumberland County school official present, and a master plan for the schools will be presented in January to the Board of Education. Additionally, we will continue to explore areas for suitable redevelopment opportunities that it can encourage job creation. That is the full report for economic development. Hope Mills Prime Movers, we do have a member here. They also participated in trunk or treat. Several of the members' children helped pass out candy. It was a very busy night. Again, they will be hosting a food drive on this upcoming weekend Saturday. They usually like to do that before the Thanksgiving holidays. And they also participated in a meal feeding opportunity with the Arms House on October the 17th. And we have 2 seats that we have open. Cultural arts, we met with, her name is Mara Trice. She is a muralist who is vetted by the Fayetteville Cumberland County Arts Council. She has sent a couple of sketches to the committee. I have sent those sketches to the committee along with her a couple of estimates. Each block, what we're trying to do is we are trying to possibly get different artists to represent or put different murals on different blocks on that side, the new sidewalk by the lake. All ideas will be vetted by the committee and then presented to the board for a vote. We have a limited amount of funds, so of course we can't start off with several of them, but we would also like some of those pieces of art to be interactive pieces that children can play with. Mara has, they can interact with. Mara has presented the idea of having QR codes to give some informative, some background and some information of the murals that are on the sidewalk pieces, as well as actually there's hidden games inside of some of her pieces. So we are trying to work through that and possibly reach out to businesses to see if they would like to sponsor some art on some of those different pieces of sidewalk. And we would like to possibly leave, we don't want every piece covered. We want to leave opportunities for children to perhaps play or put their own with their chalk on the sidewalk. And there was 2 FTCC students today that stopped by and spoke with me, and they actually talked about like creating like an interactive chalkboard on the sidewalk, and then that way it's, you know, it's more engaging for kids that might want to play. But again, we don't have anything set in stone yet. I think the process is going to take a little bit longer than we thought it would be. So when we get that, we will not have a meeting next Thursday because, as Commissioner Scarella stated, a lot of us will be in Tampa on next week. So anyway, when we get those pieces vetted, we will bring that to the board for a vote. And I think that is all that I have at this time.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray. Besides businesses to support our economic development in Hope Mills, I will share a phrase from the Arts Council of Fayetteville. We are the arts. And the arts contribute to economic development and the quality of life of any community. And I want to share that because that sidewalk down at the park, at the lake park, is a beautiful sidewalk that will be viewed and enjoyed by families and children alike. And that is probably one of the perfect places to exhibit we are the arts in murals. And you want to talk about murals? on Veterans Day in Spring Lake, Mayor Kia Anthony is going to unveil a veterans mural on that day in the town of Spring Lake. Beautiful. I'm going to move on to Mayor's Coalition, which is my report. November 1st, it was the town of Hope Mills. We held our Mayor's Coalition here in the Public Safety Building, and it was attended completely wall to wall and every seat filled. So we had the minutes, we had the agenda, we had a briefing from Fort Liberty Garrison Commander. We had an economic update by Rob Patton. Commissioner Glenn Adams gave a really great overview. We had a roundtable discussion and comments from all the coalition members. And then we decided on next year's meetings, which the next one will be February 7th, 2025 in Godwin, followed by May 2nd, 2025 in Spring Lake, followed by a meeting August 8th, 2025. That may be a change of where that's going to be. And we'll be back in Hope Mills November 7th, 2025. Nominations were also taken for chairman and vice chairman. Mayor Charles McGorn from town of Eastover will remain the chair of the Mayor's Coalition, followed by Mayor Willie Burnett from the town of Godwin. He will remain the vice chair. There was a change in secretary, I must say. A nomination came from the floor, endorsed by this person's immediate supervisor that she would accept, and she did. So the new secretary of our Mayor's Coalition is our town clerk, Ashley Wyatt. And with that said, the agenda and minutes from all Mayor Coalition meetings are on our website as part of our transparency for public review. And she will be doing the future agendas for the Secretary of the Mayor's Coalition. And let's see, did I leave out anything? I think I got it all. All right, before we go, I want to touch on something that is sometimes overlooked. Our town has a PIO, don't we? Karonda Regan is our town's PIO. And many times her function is to frame responses to media requests. Notice I said that, frame responses. And it seems like we just had a news article from Fayetteville Observer about the four-wheelers and the gunfire in a certain neighborhood in the Hope Mills area. The reporter wanted a comment from the town. Our PIO, which was Karonda Regan, she was not here at that time. I think she was in clerk's school. So our town clerk, Ashley Wyatt, packaged up a response to the newspaper on behalf of the town. We also told the reporter that if there was any future questions about these allegations in the story, to contact the town manager and the mayor directly. That was part of the framing of the response. So when I read certain comments that the town manager and the mayor did not respond to the news article, they did, the newspaper reporter did not call us directly. Called the town looking for a response for an article, which is what we did by using our PIO. But we would have added to the article if the reporter had called either one of us or both of us, as we have done in the past. But instead of having 2 or 3 different voices 2 or 3 different responses. We framed one central response, which I believe was adequate. And it must have been because the newspaper reporter didn't call Chancellor or myself for any further questions or comments or anyone else. So we framed it the right way. So I just wanted to comment that that we do have a PIO, and she does a wonderful job at press releases and framing answers to numerous media requests that we have for different things. I mean, we're not hiding anything. It's all about transparency. We're very open. So it kind of, I just wanted to make a point of that tonight, because sometimes social media kind of gets it wrong. And I just wanted to clear up that point. Okay. Reports and information items is what's left. Reminders, November 7th, Prom Movers Committee. November 13th is the HPC Committee. November 14th, Cultural Arts Committee. Staff comments? Dan, you got anything?
No.
Chancellor? Actually, thanks for volunteering to serve as the Mayor Coalition Secretary. We greatly appreciate your service, and we look forward to working with you over the next year. Rhonda? I'm coming on down the hall, down the wall there, Drew. Chief? Nothing? Don? Emily? Our 2 police captains? Some imposter back there dressed in a suit, I think. Well, anybody else? That's it? Before we adjourn, I do want to highlight something earlier. I do believe former County Commissioner Eddie Maynard's funeral will be Saturday from 11 to 1. So if any of us, I know I'll have to be there. In fact, I want to be there. If any of us are attending that, we need to let Ashley know so she can notice. There may be a forum, and that's Saturday. So just before you leave tonight or tomorrow, make sure Ashley knows so she can notice.
You know, we're all invited to Representative Marvin Lucas retirement. That's also Saturday at Fayetteville State at 5 p.m. And I think we need to go because he has been, he was a principal out here for years at Hope Mills. It was junior high then, but Hope Mills Middle School. And then he went on and went as a House representative. So I think that we should, some of us at least, go to that.
Looks like Friday, Saturday is a busy day. We've got the chili cook-off. We got another event, and that one as well. Okay, any further comments?
What are you supposed to RSVP for Representative, Representative Lucas?
No, it was an open invitation, I believe. I can double check to be sure.
And I think it's floating too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. Okay, anything else? Motion to adjourn? All in favor? Thank you very much. We are adjourned.
Yes, sir. 15 minutes late.